All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Nakwai Yahu Yeshuraya here. Nakwai Yeshuraya here. All right, I want to talk about a Torah Pasha, basic biblical polygyny. All right, so when I start doing my videos, I try to be secure as possible so that I don't have interruptions and distractions. One thing is I'm homeless, so when I'm not doing a video, no one is interrupting me or whatever the case. But when I am doing a video, people come out of nowhere. But the thing at the same time is that people, when I make my videos, after my videos are done, the very people that try to interrupt me love the lessons. Like it's something they can use. It's like I'm saying something, you already not liking what I'm about to say before I say it. But then when I fully say everything I need to say, you like what I said because you waited, or you had to wait until I fully came out and put everything together for you to be like, oh, this is one of those situations. It's an O situation. But before we get to the O, you already trying to cut me off, interject, and stop me and distract me. But when I get it fully out, you think I can't deliver it. I'm not going to deliver it right or properly. You try to cut me and things like that. So you become disrespectful. So I just wanted to know, I try my best to be secure and things like that because I know that if I can get my lessons out properly without interruptions, the lesson will come off more straight. And then the very people that were like, I don't like what he's saying, end up turning into, oh, yeah, he right. See what I'm saying? So I try to do my best to be secure. So I'm going to try to do that this Shabbat. Being homeless, I got to get this lesson off. Is very important and vital to the situation that happened with Joy Morgan and her being murdered. So if anybody out there that's spying my phone out, this is not just something you want to interrupt me on or distract me on or try to have your voice in the background on some disrespectful mess. This is something I need to go forth straight and clear because this is used for evidence as well. So please be understanding. Just because it's the Bible and you don't like the Bible, this is a matter that had to do with church and the Bible. So it's also being used for evidence, okay, so that the right people won't end up murdering more teenage girls and things like that. So everything I say is life and death. You just don't know that. It's just a topic to you that you don't like, but it's always life and death what I'm saying. But this one is more specific to a young girl that was 17 years old, between 17 and 19 years old, that was in college and university, and she was in church, and she got murdered by somebody at the church. All right. So anyway, those of you who are the detectives that are with me, this is a key point because it's not talked much about, but it is understood that the guy named Shofar, who was part of IUIC, Israel United in Christ, he was definitely married or whatever the case, and him being married, he ended up dealing with Joey Morgan as well. All right. And him dealing with Joey Morgan and being married is something that's a tricky matter. That's something you want to look at or whatever the case. All right. You want to focus on that. Um, IUIC, they teach about marriage, but we don't know fully how they teach about marriage unless you really like part of the assembly or something like that. But those that are on the outside, we don't know. I'm not part of IUIC. I have nothing to do with IUIC. I don't say Christ or nothing. I say the Messiah or the Mashiach or the Mashiach. I don't ever say Christ. So I never deal with people that say Christ or have Christ in their stuff. So I never knew what was going on with Israel United in Christ and these other Christ church or Hebrew Israelite Christ churches. I don't know what goes on there. I don't listen to them. I don't search them up or anything. I don't need to learn from them, really. I mean, they could probably give me they can add to me, yes, but I'm just saying I don't sit and learn from them because I don't want to be associated with the term Christ. So I don't know. I didn't know what was going on with the Joey Morgan situation until somebody said something. And then I was like, what the fuck? And so then I started looking into it, and I gave time because I'm like, okay, this is a big organization. They definitely going to, look into this. Turns out nobody looked into the situation with Joey Morgan. You didn't find a body. She's just murdered. And what happened? And then some guy got locked up. A lot of people out here not understanding how severe the matter is. So whatever the case, I think Nathaniel used to be part of NYPD. He was a police officer before in New York, and then he ended up coming into the Torah. So it's just kind of like you can kind of cover your tracks a little bit, and a lot of the people that are connected with you are law enforcement and stuff like that. So you can kind of pull strings and things like that, and it's kind of give you an upper hand, so that law enforcement and people of authority in other parts of the states, you can kind of like, you know, tap into other jurisdictions using biblical stuff, tapping into other jurisdictions, and brothers that be police officers and law enforcement in other states could try to put hands on people that disagree with you and stuff like that. So trouble can follow brothers all over, for that small little reason. All right, so now that that's the intro, let's talk about the actual situation that's happening here. Aleph Melikim, we're gonna start with that scripture. All right, basic biblical polygyny. All right, so let's go to that. Aleph Melikim, chapter 11, and we're gonna read to the point, starting at verse 1. But King Shalomo loved many strange women. All right, the word strange women is nakri or nakriot nashim. All right, nakriot nashim. All right, it's going to be always the same term in every scripture that I'm going to be referencing, so that you can know specifically it's talking about strange wives and holy men. So we want to know the word for women is also the same word for wives in this whole context. All right, it's nashim. Women is nashim. Woman is isha. All right, just one woman is isha or aisha, and many women are nashim. All right, nashim. All right, strange is nakriot. All right, it's nakriot because women there. So nakriot nashim, or yeah, nakriot nashim. Anyway, so but Melech Shalomo, King Solomon, loved nakriot nashim, many wives, many women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh. Who was the daughter of Pharaoh? It was the woman that he married to get in the secrets of Sanhedrin so he can build the temple. All right, that's not a basic teaching lesson. We'll go into it another time. But he married the daughter of Pharaoh so that he can learn the secrets of Sanhedrin, so that he can build the temple, so that he can hide the Ark of the Covenant, and whatever the case. We'll go into that later. All right, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. All right, these were women that had strange cultures and customs, and he had wives of these women. All right, some of these women were gifts to him, and some of them were just like he married for whatever reason, or one reason or another. They could have came to him, whatever the case. He loved many women. All right, and we'll get into it. Many strange women. We'll get into it. Verse 2: Of the nations concerning which Yahweh said to the children of Yisrael, you must not go into them, neither must they come into you, for surely they will turn away your heart, your leb or your lob, after their gods, their Elohim. Solomon clave to these in love. Now, there was a warning there. The Most High gave him a warning. These women are not like the woman that you get out of the spoils of war. Okay, these women that you get out of the spoils of war are women that serve the Most High, women that want to serve the Most High. And we get that understanding from the book of Ruth. The whole story of Ruth is about Ruth coming to the Most High and getting a husband. The same as Rahab. The whole story about that is about the whole success of that story, that situation was about Rahab, the ex-harlot, who wanted to change her ways and come to the Most High. She learned about these Israelites and stuff. She wanted to become like them. She wanted to follow their God, their Elohim, their Allah, or their Elohim. She wanted to follow their deity, their God, their creator. So in her mind, that's it. I want to follow their God. Okay, so they came, da-da-da-da. She picked them off and told them things and showed them this. If I, da-da-da-da, she helped them, so that she signaled them in a way to where they could be able to win the city of Jericho and crush the whole city. All right, and then she ended up marrying one of the brothers of Yehuda. All right, now that's two women that we read of, Rahab and Ruth. Now it's not talking about women like that, strange women, like women from another nation, and they're just strange women from another nation. No, this talking about women that are just strange, like they're impure, they're not holy, they don't want the Most High, they don't want to live right. You know what I'm saying? So you can have a sister that is a Hebrew sister and a Hebrew Israelite sister, okay, from your own blood and race. She can become a strange woman. All right, so we'll get into that, but these women were of different cultures, okay? And in captivity, and today we have women that are of many different cultures, In strange cultures, they want to follow many different types of ways and belief systems and stuff. You got the same people, right? We Hebrew Israelites, as you call Black Americans. Some of the women are Muslims, some of the women are Christians, some of the women are Egyptologists. The women have followed many strange things, and then they become a strange woman. If you marry her, even though she is your own sister from your own bloodline or whatever, meaning your own people, she just lived down a block or she lived around your way or something like that. You're not really related, but you're the same people. You Black the same, but you're not the same. She's Egyptologist or something like that. So Pan-Africanism or something. So she followed a different culture. And so you married her anyway because you love her for some reason. And she gets, you have families and children and all kind of stuff like that. She still can be a strange woman because she don't want to let go of whatever it is that she's serving to serve the Most High with you. All right. That's what a strange wife is. So coming into this, a lot of sisters don't understand what a strange woman really means, because they be emotional. So they read it with emotions and they're not really comprehending what they're reading, and they miss and they skip over things because they're trying to get to the point they're trying to get to. So they skip over the whole context, trying to get to that one point. So again, verse 2, of the nations concerning which Yahweh said to the children of Yashrael, you must not go into them, neither must they come into you, for surely they will turn away your heart and your mind after their gods. They'll make you think that serving their gods or compromising to serve their gods with them is okay. Shalom will cleave to these in love. In love. You can cleave to them to help them come to the Most High, but don't cleave to them in love to want to start doing what they're doing and serving the gods they serve. Just you can cleave to them though, because they might be looking for help and trying to come to the Most High. All right, verse 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, women that were not virgins. All right. And his wives turned away his heart, his nashim. All right. The term is always nashim, his wives, his nashim. They belong to him. Verse 4. For it came to pass when Solomon or Shalama was old that his wives, his nashim, turned away his heart, his mind, after other gods. They started talking to him, started turning away his mind, turning away his heart. Okay, and his heart was not perfect. It was not blameless, because you're starting to know too much. So now you doing what they say, you're not blameless anymore because you know better. Okay, so his heart was not perfect, was not blameless with the Most High Yah, his Elohim, as was the heart or the mind of Dawad, his father. He was thinking it could have been something there in these other gods, whereas so Dawad, he turned neither left or right. Like, nah, it's just only the Most High. Like me, the Most High Father desire be done, period. It's nothing else after that, period. No other gods, no other nothing. So when sisters come and they have other belief systems and stuff like that, I have no ear for the belief system. I only have an ear if they want to serve the Most High, or I only have words to kind of bring them to the Most High. I have no ears for any other gods that they serve or compromising in any kind of way, beautiful or not, modest or not. Verse 5, for Solomon or Shalomo went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zenonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Amorites. So it's saying he went after these other and started serving them in some kind of way, started learning from them. Well, we're learning. History is history. Learning things is learning things. But going after them, like reading the book is reading the book. It don't mean you're following this belief system that you're reading. But the more you start learning of it and you start doing it and stuff, you're not no longer guilty. You start following the stuff. But learning is learning. Like if I read the Quran, I'm just reading the Quran. It don't mean I follow it. I'm just trying to find out what they talking about. Like I read in the surah that prophethood comes through Abraham, Yitazahak, and Yaquab, meaning as you call Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob wrongfully. But it comes through Abraham, Yitazahak, and Yaquab, not through Yishmael. So if it says that, why would I go to Ishmael to learn of prophethood or the way of the Most High? I would go to Abraham, right? So I put the Quran down. I was a Christian at the time, hardcore Christian at the time. You know what I'm saying Christ all day long. I didn't know anything about Hebrew or nothing yet, but I wanted to know what these Muslims was believing because they will always contend with me on the bus. So I went just flipped to it randomly to the surah. Out of all of these verses and chapters they got, I went to the one surah that talked about prophethood. And it was saying that only Abraham, prophethood comes through him, not through Ishmael. It's not, the covenant isn't through him. So I was like, oh, I'll put that down. So reading is not the same as wanting to be a part of something. You're just trying to read what they're talking about, you know? All right. So go to the library, read some books. It don't mean you're trying to eat green eggs and ham. All right. Verse 6. And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh and went not fully after Yahweh, as did Dawud his father. So that was point blank, period. So here, I just wanted to point out. Oh, well, let's continue on. Verse 7, then we're going to stop at verse 8. Then did Shalomo or Solomon build a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, and the hills that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. Wow, even for Molech, he's going too far with this stuff. Verse 8, and likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed to their gods. So, that's a strange wife. That's how it ended. That's how you end up falling to false gods. Okay. Likewise did he for all his strange wives. So he did this for who? His strange wives. What is a strange wife? A woman that is abominable. She serves other gods, other cultures, and don't want to give her other gods up. That's a strange wife. Not just she's strange or from another nation per se. It's just that she follow the gods of the other nations. She's not a Ruth. She's not a Rahab. Okay, as you call Rahab. She's not a Rahab. She's not a Ruth. Ruth is looking for Boaz. These women ain't looking for Boaz. They like, no, follow my gods. Molech and them. And he did the same for all his strange wives. His Nakriot Nishim, which burnt incense and sacrificed food and stuff and animals and stuff to their gods, their deities. And Yahweh was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from Yahweh, Elohim of Yisrael, Yashra'al, which had appeared to him twice. So you know the truth, you know the way, but you listen to your wives and serve their gods, and you did what they said for their gods. Instead of be strong and firm, you can get the fuck out of here, lighten my load, all these women, and or you can serve the Most High. He wasn't firm. Okay, so off that, let's go to the next one. The next one we're going to is Azra. All right, Azra, as you call Ezra, Azra, and we got some word to come out of there. Azra, chapter 10. All right, so Ezra, chapter 10. All right, we're gonna start from the top. All right, verse 1. Now, when Ezra had prayed, and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of Elohim, there assembled to him out of Yashra'al or Yisrael a very great congregation, an assembly, a kahal of men and women. All right, Anashim and Nashim. Men is Anashim, women is Nashim, and children, Benim. For the people wept very sore. All right. And Shechariah, the son of Yachiel, one of the sons of Alam, answered and said to Azarah, we have trespassed against our Elohim, and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Yashra'al concerning this thing. All right, so there's hope in this situation. We have women that serve other gods because of captivity. They were in captivity. Where are we at in America? America is our captive land. You can end up being with any kind of woman that serve other gods. Okay? You can be with those women, meaning these women could own you, they could buy you and shit. You in captivity. A woman come out of nowhere on some Potiphar's wife mess. I want that guy right there and shit. So she come out of nowhere, she wants you, she buys you, she agrees with you that she'll take care of you and all this stuff. You in slavery, I got money. And then she follows you when you come out of captivity or whatever. So happen captivity is over all of a sudden. She comes with you with the children and stuff, but she don't want to let go of her gods. Now you have an opportunity. Yet now there is hope in Yashra'al concerning this thing. Now we can let these women go. A lot of them, they came together on an agreement. A lot of them were bought by these women and stuff like that and got married to these women at a price. Whatever the reason could have been. You got a big dick, this, that, same shit. You got a Chinese, Japanese woman that could have been like, yo, I need that. You could have any kind of a Latina woman that's short. I need that. Even though they're Israel too, but still. You can have that. Women be all kinds of strange, like Potiphar's wife. They be all kinds of emotional too. So they end up with strange women. So now they can handle the situation. Verse 3. Now therefore let us make a covenant, an agreement with our Elohim to put away all the wives, the Nashim, and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, my master, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our Elohim, and let it be done according to the Torah. So as of those who tremble at the commandment of our Elohim, not just everybody, because some of the men is not going to let them go. They don't tremble. They're not convicted and they're not troubled or fearful at the commandment of the Most High to want to do it. So they don't really care. So they can go on their way. But those who do tremble at the commandment of the Most High and let it be done according to the Torah, so be it. Let them put away their wives. Of course, they were given new wives, but still, they put away the ones that are strange, not necessarily old, but the ones that were strange. If you had more than one wife still, you could have had a strange wife and one that's not strange. You put away the strange one, you know. She's going to bring false belief systems into your family and into the nation of Israel. You're going to be worshiping false gods and stuff, Buddha and this and that and cow worship and shit like that. You have centipede lady and shit with the many arms and shit. All this stuff you're going to be serving. Verse 4. Arise, for this matter belongs to you. We also will be with you. Be of good courage and do it. Verse 5. Then arose Azariah and made the chief Kohanim and Layim and all Yashrael to swear that they should do according to this word, and they swear. All right. Then Azariah rose up from before the house of Elohim and went into the chamber of Yochanan. All right, that's another name for John too. But you either see Yochanan or Jan, or it's John. Johann. They say Johanan or John in the English, but it's all the same as Yochanan or Yahukanan. All right, the son of what is it? El Yashib, El Yashib or El Yashab. All right, El Yashib or El Yashab. And when he came there, he did eat no bread nor drink water, for he mourned because of the transgression of them that had been carried away. Now, there are differences in sins. Some sins are just hardcore, some are worthy of death, some are just transgressions, like you just crossed the line. And the reasons behind it could be different, which could be a hard sin or a soft sin, whatever the case, you go by the reason as well. So these could be, you married these women, y'all just crossed the line. Did you know any better? Did you not know any better? Those of you who knew better, okay, so you transgressed. You wasn't just unfaithful, you was disrespectful. A transgression is you were just unfaithful, so you ended up being with a woman that was not serving the Most High. So you gave up, you know. But if you were just hardcore, F the Most High, I won't be with this woman. If you was beyond unfaithful, you disrespectful as shit. So now you just sinning. You're a debtor. You know what I'm saying? You in debt. Transgression, you just crossed the line a little bit. You got to let this go. All right. Verse 7, and they made proclamation throughout Yahudah and Jerusalem to all the children, the benim of the captivity, that they should gather themselves together to Jerusalem. And that whosoever would not come within 3 days, according to the counsel of the princes and the elders, and his substance should be fortified, and himself separated from the congregation of those that had been carried away. Now, this part kind of get that little harshness to get these brothers to be all strict and stuff. See, we were strict and stern and stuff like that. But it wasn't just that they were strict and stern and stuff like that. It was understanding what you were talking about. Like, you're not just putting away your wife that want to serve the Most High. You got a roof on your hands. You got a rakab on your hands. We're not just doing that to them. You got a Joey Morgan on your hands. We're not doing that to them. They're not strange. They want to serve the Most High. But those that don't, got to be a little strict. Get that evil out of the land. We don't want other gods next to our God type thing. Verse 9. Then all the men of Yahudah and Benjamin gathered themselves together to Jerusalem within 3 days. It was the 9th month on the 12th day of the month. All right. And all of the people sat in the street of the house of Elohim, trembling because of this matter and for the great rain. So it was raining real heavy and crazy and stuff like that. And they were trembling. They got to let these other women go. They got to let these women go. Is that serious? You got to get rid of the women that don't serve the God you serve. That's serious, yo. It's such a matter that they had to sit down, congregate, come together, and really come up with how they're going to get rid of those strange women. It's like a woman being with a homosexual man. It's such a serious matter. You need to sit down and get rid of that man quick as possible before we can move forward and get the ball rolling. You got to get rid of them. You straight, you want a straight man, you want a traditional man, but you with a gay man, bisexual, whatever the case. You got to handle that situation first. So was it they were trembling in the street, feeling convicted and stuff like that. Verse 10, and Azra, the Cohen, stood up. So Azra was a Cohen, but his office was a scribe. All right. And Azra, the Cohen, which was a scribe, which is his office, stood up and said to them, you have transgressed. Y'all crossed the line and have taken strange wives. Okay. Nakriot Nishim, to increase the trespass of Yashra'al. Now therefore make confession to Yahweh Elohim of your fathers, your Abot, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the Amim, or the people of the land, the Adama, and from the Nakriot Nishim. All right, so he's saying separate yourselves from the people of the Adama, and from the Nakriot Nishim. All right, so get out of the land, separate yourselves from those people and the women. All right. Because when you come to the Most High and his people, then there will be women there, and you can get new wives. Verse 12, then all the congregation answered and said with a loud voice, as you have said, so must we do. Verse 13, but the people are many, and it is a time of much rain, and we are not able to stand without, neither is this a work of one day or two. For we are many that have transgressed in this thing. So he said, this thing is too deep. It's not going to take just right away. We're going to need time to handle this. So give us some time. And he's like, all right, y'all got time, but just handle it. All right. Plus it's raining. We need to build homes and houses and things like we got to build. They even had to build a wall. It was all kind of stuff going on. They got to rebuild the wall. They got to do this. They got to do that. So it wasn't just a matter that they can handle right away. So it was like, all right, well, we know that we got to let them go. So let's just start the separating process. Let's start to get this soul tie removed from us carefully. But it's easy to take a soul tie off when the woman is not serving the same God as you. The Most High saves you from being ripped off. But if you look at it exactly like if a woman was with a homosexual man, okay, and he don't want to let go of his homosexuality, but he still want to be with you, or he bisexual, he like men and he like you too, he just don't want to let you go. So the same, and he don't want to let men go. So the same thing, it's not gonna rip you off because it's like, right, he don't want to let that go, and use peanut butter dick, so it's like I'm tired of eating peanut butter dick, and you get like that. So it's not gonna handle right away. But still, you start dealing with this matter. Verse 14, let now our rulers of all the congregation stand, and let all them which have taken strange wives, Nakriot Nashim, in our cities come at appointed times, and with them the elders of every city, and the judges thereof, until the fierce wrath of our Elohim from this matter be turned from us. So the Most High is mad as shit that you marry a woman that don't want to serve him. That's serious. The Most High is angry with that shit. Fierce wrath. You can't make a marriage vow with a woman that don't want to serve the Most High and you do. You can't do that. It's going to end up cutting the Most High. And you knowing that he's going to be angry with you. But if you don't know that, you were deceived in some kind of way, a woman tried to play you, understandable. He just help you out and get you away from that person. But that's how it is. It's fierce wrath. So it's not a light thing to be in relationships with people. The Most High takes it very serious. Relationships, very, very serious. Just like you do. You don't want your heart broken type stuff. It's very serious to the Most High as well. So another person that's breaking the hearts, they might act like your heart not serious, or your emotions aren't serious, or your pain isn't serious because they're not the Most High. The Most High is concerned about everybody's pain that wants to serve him, and want to get rid of the people that's hurting them, okay, because it's hurting him as well. Verse 15, only Jonathan, the son of Asael, and Yahaziah, the son of Takwa, or you might say Tikwa, the son of Takwa, were employed about this matter, and Meshulam and Shabtai is the name, and the Lawi or the Laya helped them. All right. So you got a couple of people here that's dealing with this matter. Verse 16, and the children of the captivity did so, and Azra, Hakohen, with certain chief of the fathers, after the house of their fathers, and all of them by their names were separated and sat down in the first day of the 10th month. to examine the matter. And they made an end with all the men that had taken strange wives, Nakriot Nashim, by the first day of the first month. Now we know also that each man could have had just one strange wife apiece. So it could have been talking about all of these men and all of these women that are one to per man are just considered strange wives. But we went to Melikim. I left Melikim first to let you know that Melech Shalomo had more than one wife, 700 and princesses, and he had 300 concubines, women that were not virgins. But they were all Nakriot Nashim. Same word, same text, same term. Now we're going to go into that. All right. All right. So we're here from right to left, um, second line. All right, yeah, second line, first word. All right. You see there? I know because we read English, right? So you got 10:17 on the right there, chapter 10, verse 17. But from right to left, one, two, three, four. Second line, fifth word is nashim. All right, for women, and then nakriot. All right, strange wives. Nashim nakriot. Okay, nashim is a masculine word for some reason. Why is nashim and the other one is nakriot, which is a feminine word. Normally, uh, it's not supposed to be masculine, feminine like that. But because we're talking about women, I feel like that nashim should be feminine. You know, nashot or something like that. Nashot nakriot, but it's nashim nakriot. Anyway, just something to think about. But those two terms right there, that line, this line right here, second, nashim nakriot. First two words starting from right to left. All right, so let's go down. So here it is again. All right, Asha is the 802. If you get to it, all right, 802. This is the most simple way to put it. Asha. Okay, some say Isha. I'll say Asha, and then Asha and Ash, or Isha and Ish. But it's too close to Ash, so I don't want to say Ish. So I'm gonna say Asha. So which is woman, wife, female, woman. You know, that's what it's talking about. That's singular. Woman, wife, female. All right? Singular. So that's why it's Nashim. All right? That's why you also see next to H802, you see at the top is Nashim. That's plural. And then you have Asha. That's the singular. All right? So it's wives here, plural. So you would use the top word, Nashim. All right? And it means what? Wives, women, and females. Then you have strange here. And because you're putting it plural, these two words combine together. So it's just not going to be nakri. It's going to be nakriot, which is plural. The ot is a plural. So nakriot. All right, foreign, alien, foreign. So this is singular. Nakri is singular. So you want to say foreign woman, a harlot. All right, so what would be outlandish? When you look further down here, other words like stranger, alien, strange woman, foreigner, outlandish. You know, things like that. Wait. Adulterous, different. Yeah, adulterer, different, outlandish, things like that is what nakri means. There's a variety of degrees and applications to this word. Is this what they're saying? You're foreign. You serve a other god. You don't serve the Most High. You're not Ruth. You're not Rahab. You're not Ruth. Ruth wanted. She said, "Your God will be my God. Your people will be my people." That's not harlotess. That's not foreign. That's not alien. But these women, they want to still serve their own gods and still be married to you. That's unfamiliar. All right. So nakri. So the word here is plural. Since it's wives, you're speaking of more than one woman, you will put the plural form. Okay. Um, you would put like an adjective and verb and things like that. It would be like strange wives. Nakriot nashim. It comes together. Something like a compound word. All right. So that was to let you know every time we're talking about strange wives, it's verse 17. And they made an end with all the men that had taken Nakriot Nashim, okay, by the first day of the first month. So we know it's just not women that are just strange women and shit. It's just women that don't want to serve the Most High, all right? They're perverse in some kind of way. They're adulterous. They're harlots. They want to do OnlyFans. They want to be bikini models and stuff like that. We got special cases, yes. We're not talking about special cases right now. Being strict right now. We're in captivity, so yeah, we'll talk about the special cases later. But right now, we're talking about if you're just free, all right? And we're not in captivity. You can now let go of these strange wives. It's what's happening here. They're no longer in captivity, okay? Now they are home. They can let go of these strange wives, all right? But we're in captivity today while I'm teaching this. So, yeah, Nakariyot Nashim. You can't really let your wife go. You got a bikini model, but she want to serve the Most High. She just making it do what it do. Her heart is not strange. So make sure your heart is not foreign and strange. Make sure your desire is pure. All right? And I want to go to the last verse here, verse 44. All these had taken strange wives. All right? Nakariyot Nashim. And some of them had wives by whom they had children. Meaning they was with the mother and the daughter. And you're not allowed to do that. All right? So speaking of that verse, let's go to it. All right. So Nakriyot, again here, I put it here, to be impure. As in a nutshell, to be impure. That covers everything. That's H5237. All right. So now let's go to Wayikra. All right. Wayikra, we're going to go to, yeah. All right. 18. And I'm going to just jump to 18, get to the point. Got a lot of time under my belt already. 18. All right. So it says, neither must you take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. All right. What is that saying here? Neither must you take a wife to her sister to vex her. All right. Sisters like to take that and make it look like you're not allowed to have more than one wife. All right. Because it's always going to be vexatious. No, the word vex is there. Okay. So let's go into it. To vex her. That's right. You gotta deal with that vex word there and really properly teach it. All right. So what is the word for vex? So if you go here, but we at the line. So first line here, second word from right to left. Second word. That's lazarar. La za ra ra. Four pronunciations. La za ra ra. Okay. La zarar. All right. That means to vex. All right, now let's go to vex. Let's see what that word means. All right, that's going to be H6887. All right, and the simple form, la, it just means to. It's just means to, la, to. So it just adds, so it looked like one word, right, the way you read it. So you got to really learn Hebrew, or else you wouldn't be able to read it properly. So la means to, zarar is the word that's actually being spoken of here. That's going to be, like I said, H6887. And this is the primitive root. All right, this is the most primitive word. It means to bind, to be narrow, to be in distress. Okay, to cause distress, besiege, to restrain, to bound, bind up, to be cramped, to be strict, to be fucked up, really. Okay, to vex you, to suffer, to distress. To show hostility towards. Now we're talking about marriage. That's to show hostility towards. So you marry, you got a wife. You're not liking something about her, but because you can't divorce, it's forbidden to divorce. Actually, we don't have a proper cause to divorce. So because I don't have a proper reason to divorce, I gotta find somebody that another wife to vex this wife. That's evil. Don't do that. So you married another woman to show hostility towards the woman you got. So the Joy Morgan situation, he has a wife already. Could it have been that he was with Joy Morgan to be in a place of zarar, to show hostility towards, the other wife, to treat enmity, vex, harass, to be enmitous, to harass, to basically shine on her. Okay? That's what vex means, to shine, to vex, to be enmitous, to cause a problem with, so that you can have no peace in a house because he's not having peace with her. Right? That's the understanding here. So you're not supposed to have more than one wife to be having them fighting each other. It's supposed to be family unity, not fighting. So it's never speaking against more than one wife. It's just telling you to not be vexatious. All right? Because you had Leah and Rachel. If Leah and Rachel, or Leah and Rachel, as they say in English, Leah and Rachel, if those two sisters, their father didn't do what he did by deceiving Yaquab, as you call Jacob, deceiving him by putting Leah in the marriage chamber first and then made him work 7 more years. If that didn't happen by their father, then Leah and Rachel would have been more united. It wasn't a matter of them actually having a beef with each other. Leah wanted to be with Yaquab anyway because she didn't want to be with Esau. But she could have waited. But it was possible he wouldn't want to be with her after he was with Rachel. So she listened to her father and laid down first with him. Oh, the older before the younger. So they did that. You're not supposed to, yeah, but still no. I'm only here for one woman. So they did that to him anyway. And if you're gonna give me Leah, then you gonna, But if you get the one wife that you want, it's possible you won't even don't take the older one. So that's what was going on there. So Leah listened to her father, and that's what Raquel was really arguing with Leah about sometimes. Like, why would you listen to daddy and shit and just go in there and stuff? Because I don't want to be with Esau. Then they kind of came to an understanding. Yeah, Esau is a district. Yeah, I got okay. They kind of neutralized the situation. The type of man Esau was. They was like, yeah, you right. You right. So they kind of stopped being a vexation to each other because Raquel couldn't have children. So Leah, Zilpah, and Bilhah prayed together for Raquel to have a child. And that first child was Yusuf, and then the second child was Benjamin, and then she died. But she basically loved her sister. She prayed for her sister, okay? And they made amends with each other. So it wasn't that they always was vexatious to each other or had problems with each other that was caused by their father anyway. It was okay. They hashed out at some time as time passed. So yeah, you don't do that. So Yaquat wasn't wrong in that matter. He wasn't wrong in that matter by taking 4 wives. They all worked together nicely. They prayed together to make sure that Raquel had a child. Showed you they came together and united. All of the women, all of the wives came together to pray for Raquel so that she can get pregnant. They all got children by him. They prayed for Raquel so she can have a child by him. And so it was. So it thank you. She loved them even more. Thank you so much for praying for me and crying and tears and all that. Y'all my sisters and stuff. Y'all my, you know what I'm saying? And they stayed united. So Arwa is the next word. All right, now the word, okay, wait. The Arwa is nakedness here. So let's go back up. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, fourth. The fourth word from right to left, the fourth word, first line there, is Arwatha. Arwatha is contextual here. So there's an infix here. The tha. All right, that one, two, 1, 2, 3. The fourth letter, fourth word, fourth letter, right to left, is the tha. All right, it gives that tha sound, but it's an infix, like suffix, prefix. It's an infix. Hebrew has infixes, so that infix is to give it that nakedness. Otherwise, it would just be naked. It would just be arwa. So arwa tha. Here you got the contextual word here, H6172. It is arwatha, but the actual word is arwa without the context. So let's go to it. Her nakedness. All right, let's go to it. Arwa or erwa, as they say. Erwa, arwa. All right, let's see what they say.
Strong's H6172. Erva. Erva.
All right, the reason I don't say the V word because the Hebrew language is not a bitey language. You're not allowed to bite your teeth down on your lips to speak Hebrew. All right, and that's in the Apocrypha. I got to find it later. I'll find it later for you. Other brothers know that scripture. They can go right to it. I forget. I'll be reading so many things. But Apocrypha, Arwa. I don't say Arva. I say Arwa. Wah. Open your mouth. Open mouth sounds only. Arwa. All right. So Adara, Erva, or you can say Erwa, or Erwa, whatever. You can say Erwa. I say Arwa. But if you say Erva, it's Yiddish at that point. All right, anyway, Arwa means nakedness, nudity, shame. All right, Pudinda. All right, implying shameful exposure. It's like you're marrying a woman to basically vex you, cause problems to you, and to try to expose you. Don't marry a woman to be a detective over your other wife and shit, to try to find some guilt in her and shit, to just be watching her and shit like that. You're not being united. You're not being sisterly. You're just being there to just watch and push the sister out of the situation. You're just trying to push her out of the situation. That's evil as shit. You want to push out the situation, so you got this person here to be a vexation to them, to be zarar to them, vexatious, you know, to be oppressive, to try to find guilt, okay, to expose them. There's shame, if there's any shame there. And if there is no shame, what's going to happen? You're going to keep on pressing them and pressing them, and then making up reasons to making up fake ass reasons to try to point some fake ass shame. They'd be like, oh, see, there's some shame in them. There's this. You're looking for reasons to expose them, but there's nothing to expose them. So you make shit up. That's what happened with my ex-wife, Tanika, and also my first ex-wife, um, Jenny Rose Panner. There is nothing in me, so you're trying to make up reasons and then say, oh, my husband left me and shit. No, I didn't leave you. You left me. But who's going to believe me, right? So you can make up shit and say my husband left me. No, you left with your ex-boyfriend. That's shameful as shit. So since there's no witnesses that was going to side with me, you can make up anything you want to make and make it look like you're this, this innocent ass person. When obviously people know you're not, but it just want to make it look like I was guilty too. I had something to do with it too. And that's what you're trying to ride with. Oh, he got something to do with it too. He's not all right. No, I was. I had no problem. I didn't want to be with you. So then I gave you a chance. So yeah, I'm innocent in the situation. So yeah, there we go, y'all. So yeah, that vexation, that oppression to cramp you up and this, that, and the third. People do that out here. They find people to try to help them criminalize you and show hostility towards you and be impetus towards you. When they really have nothing against you, they just don't like you for something because you could have some guilt, but you don't want to be exposed. So you're trying to make them look like some kind of way before they expose you. It's always the innocent person stuff like that happen to. All right. So let's go to, and again, verse 18. Neither must you take a wife to her sister, her akha, to zarar, to oppress her. Okay. To uncover her what? Her arwa, her arwatha, her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. Don't do that. Don't be playing like that. All right. So let's get the last verse. So here you go. I got it there. To oppress of H6087, Lazarar. And then H6172, to shame, to pick on is a better word. To pick on somebody. You just married this other woman, so to pick on your wife that you got already because you feel some kind of way about her. That's Arwatha or Arwatha. All right. The next one we're going to. All right. That last one down there. Hebrew. Debarim. Debarim 21. All right. Pull that down there. Oh, dang. What did I say? My fault. 15. All right. Verse 15. If a man have two wives, bam. I just wanted to end it with that. If a man have two wives, ... I'm not trying to get nothing else out of that. If a man have two wives, now you can read the rest of that on your own, but it's not saying anything about you're a sinner, you're a trespasser, you got to go to hell, we got to kill your ass, we got to kill Joy Morgan and shit because you can't have two wives. It's not saying anything like that. The Most High saying here in Devarim chapter 21, verse 15, if a man have two nashim, same word, it's not another word. Got to double check for the sisters that be hard and shit. Y'all be hard as shit. Let's check. If a man have two wives, all right, so it's 21:15 there, first line. All right, so last word, Nashim. All right, now let's go to the Nashim word. Nashim, where is it at? Wives, same as here. Same, 802, same one. Asha, plural, Nashim. All right, two wives. A man have two women. All right, two females. All right. Now, there's a proper way to do this. The rules, I'm not going to get into that, but there are ways to do this. But we'll give you this one, though. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, not necessarily hated, but one loved less. One loved and one loved less, okay? Or it could be hated. You just don't like her. You hate her because you're a piece of shit already, and you just hate her the wrong way. Otherwise, you would just love her less, okay? Because you're not going to be with a woman you hate, really, okay? And you the holy one. No. But if you're the unholy one, yeah, you're gonna hate your wife and shit. Okay? But you still keeping the Torah, you like LE. You wicked, you're like Phinehas and Hophni. Y'all wicked as shit, Cohens and shit. Wicked as shit. Y'all got problems and flaws all day. So you hate your wives that don't got problems and flaws. So it'd be like that. Y'all be just fucked up and shit. So verse 15, if a man have two nashim, one loved and one loved less, or one beloved and one hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, or the loved and the loved less, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, verse 16, then it will be when he makes his sons to inherit that which he has, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the loveless or the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. Now, we not even, the Most High not even talking about put her away, kick her ass out and shit. You hate her ass, kid. No, it's talking about the children of the women. Okay, so I'm gonna just give it to you because that can sound kind of funny, you know. But what's happening here is there's not a special case like you lost your birthright, so you got to give it to, it's not a special case like that. The case is here, you have two wives, right? You have one child by one wife and then a child by another wife. Even though the child of this wife is the firstborn of her and then the other child is the firstborn of her, to you, this is the firstborn and that one is the secondborn. But they're the firstborns of this themselves, of their own womb. But to you and your family, you can have 5 wives. The first woman that have the child first is the firstborn. The others are not the firstborn. They could just be the firstborn of those other wives. You have 4 women: Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, Bilhah. Reuben is the firstborn. So he get the birthright, but he lost the birthright under special case by basically committing adultery in a way. He committed adultery with one of his father's wives. I think it might have been Zilpah or Bilhah. He committed adultery, discovered his nakedness. So he lost his birthright. And it was given to Yusuf, all right, which is the firstborn of Rachel or Rachel. So it's the firstborn of Rachel, but it's according to Yaakov, the firstborn of all of his children are Reuben. So it was given to the firstborn of Rachel and Yaakov. So it is Yusuf, or Yosef as some say. He's the firstborn. He runs it, okay? Because it was forfeited with Reuben, because he had sex with his father's wife, Zilpah or Bilhah, one of those two. So, okay, we go to Yosef now. What's going on here? What we got to do? Like, you firstborn. You running it. And we know what type of man Yusuf was. He was very modest and chaste. He wasn't running after women. He was running from women. Potiphar and Potiphar's wife situation. His brother sold him into slavery. His whole life story was fucked up because his brothers hated on him and shit like that. Same as me. But I'm not saying I'm Yusuf, but I'm just saying, same as me. He got the birthright. They started hating on him and shit like that. So that's a special case. So yeah, you would give the inheritance to Yusuf because of the forfeit of Reuben. That's a special case. But if it's not a special case and everything's clean, you just don't like one of your wives or something like that because there's a flaw in them or something they don't want to change or something, you're not divorcing her because she's still good. It's just this one thing about her and shit. But you like, forget it, you know. But you don't like that thing about her, whatever. Or you're a piece of shit. You teach the Bible all day, you're a piece of shit. You don't like this wife because she's so holy. But you like the other wives because they rock with you and shit. They be perverse with you, doing dirt with you and shit. But the one over here, she holy as shit, Joy Morgan and shit. You hate her ass. Still, the child from her is the firstborn of all of your children, of any of the wives. So you still don't take that birthright from that child because that child didn't do anything to forfeit their birthright. It's not Esau and Yaakov. Esau and Yaakov, their situation was he didn't want the birthright or whatever the case. Because he didn't want the birthright, he forfeited it by over, what is a birthright going to do to me or do for me? He was disrespectful to the birthright, so it was given to Yaakov. All right, so just wanted to show you that it wasn't saying anything there about if a man have 2 wives, you got to put one of those away and shit. You in sin, you in trespass. We don't even got other verses and chapters for that. Ain't no more verses. If a man have 2 wives, get rid of her and shit. You in sin, period. Next verse. It wasn't that. If a man have 2 wives, one loved and one not loved and da-da-da-da-da and telling you what to do. It's not telling you to put her away, even if just as a disagreement or some dislike in it. So never is the Torah or the scriptures ever talking about a man can't have more than one wife. That's the law itself, the instructions itself. Now, what the Brit Hadasha was saying with Rab Shaul If I got time, I'll go to that. But it's at the end now, so if it cut me, if I got time, I'm gonna go to it. Let me 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 go to it. All right. If I can find it, I gotta go to the search. I ain't gonna be in the New Testament in a minute. At least one. All right. Uh, all right. One wife. Let's go down to. All right. Titus. That's what it's. Titus. All right. So this is English. This is the Roman perversion, my nigga. This is the Septuagint Roman Vulgate shit. We don't have shit like bishops and deacons. So when you read it in English, it is Romanized. They Romanized this shit. So this is I left Timotheus or I left Timothy. All right, so let's start at verse 1. This is a true saying: if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desires a good work. What is a bishop? I don't even have the Hebrew here. It's not the Hebrew, it's the Greek. It's the Greek here. Let's see if they see if the blue letter got a little bit updated. See if they stepped up. Come on now, don't play with me. All right, you playing with me. Come on now. Playing with me. All right, see with this one. All right, so it's playing with me. It's not letting me go into it, but it's Greek. It's not Hebrew. So you can't really go to the Greek to get understanding on the Hebrew faith or the Hebrew culture. That's stupid to do that. But I just wanted to see. Now, this is a true saying: if a man desire the office of a bishop. What is the office of a bishop? I don't know. He desires a good work. Okay, I know the office of a scribe, the office of a kosher, a man that's a kosher. But those are offices. Offices, not officers, offices. But what's a bishop? I don't know what they actually do. It's something that you got to actually be doing, like a work that you do, specific to you as what a rab or something. So, verse 2, a bishop then must be blameless. Okay, blameless is the word for perfect. Perfect is actually the word for blameless. Okay, a bishop then must be blameless, a guiltless life, nothing to blame on him, like me, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach. Now, in the Hebrew, which I don't have here, let's see. Blame must be one. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so there's a context here, but it's at least one wife. Okay, so I think it's in the Hebrew. I'm gonna do another lesson on it if I can't find it right away because it took me a minute to get it, because in context it's saying at least one wife, not just you must have one wife. You must be the husband of at least one wife before you can even do the work of this. At least one wife. That's what it's saying. So those little small words can fuck up the whole situation. I'll get it later. I'll get it later for you. If it's really hot and heavy, I'll get it later for you. But I'm not really feeling it too much now, but it is that. Hopefully you just trust me. But if you're keeping in context with the Torah, and if these men are men of the Torah, there is no Brit Hadash at the time. So they wouldn't make up a new thing. They will go into context or co-text with what they already have, which is the Torah. They don't have a New Testament to read. Oh, they don't. Oh, Paul said, no, they don't have that. Paul ain't even say nothing yet. Now he's saying something. So now that he's saying something, he didn't have Paul's writings to come be like, well, they said you must have at least one wife, so I'm going to say that to them. No, he is the Shaul. Or rather, this is Timotheus. Sorry, this is Timotheus. Rab Shaul was a rabbi. So he wasn't teaching one wife only. So according to the Torah, it would be you must be blameless, the husband of at least one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach. Okay, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy, meaning you can drink wine, but you're not given to it. You're not a drunkard. You're not a striker. You're not just like one just want to beat a woman. You brute as shit. A woman say some shit that made you think, and you just like, instead of want to humble down, like, you right, baby, you right, y'all right, you right, and then humble down and learn, like, oh, you was wrong. Oh, let me correct myself. I stand corrected. You not one of those stand corrected guys if you wrong. You one of those strikers and shit. Not greedy, a filthy lucre, Meaning you need money, but you're not trying to get, you're not all about money, trying to get extra rich and shit. You just want what you need so you can live a comfortable life, like me and shit. But patient, not a brawler, not covetous. All right, you